Happy Friday, NFL fans. Welcome back to another episode of the J All Day NFL Show. In today's episode, we're going to do my final picks for week 3 with injury updates. We're going to go through it a little bit quicker than previous videos, but we're going to get you guys up to speed on everything you need to know for week 3. Let's get into the video. All right, all my NFL fans, before we get into today's video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. It does really help us get into YouTube's algorithm. And if you want more NFL updates all season long, consider subscribing to the channel, guys. And also, on your phone, there's that hype button. That's a great free way to support the channel, guys. We're crushing our picks this year. We won again yesterday, so that makes us 26-7 on the season, 78% winning percentage for the 2025 season so far. I'm really excited for these picks, guys. Let's get into it. NFL family, thank you so much for sticking around, hanging out with me here on Friday or Saturday or early Sunday morning as you get these final picks before we kick off the slate on Sunday, right? We're going to kick things off. We won the Buffalo matchup yesterday. The Dolphins played pretty tough, though, man. Tua throwing that pick at the end. Ay caramba. Falcons going to Carolina to take on the Panthers, right? I love Atlanta in this spot. Even though there are some things to like what's going on in Carolina, Ted McMillan looks great. Through the first couple of games, 11 catches, 168 yards, but Xavier Legette has been MIA. The dude has not been seen at all. 4 catches, 8 yards. The dude is looking more and more and more like a huge freaking bust, guys. But yet, I just love Atlanta. The Carolina offensive line that's already not very formidable. 2 guys, their best guy, in my opinion, in Robert Hunt, on IR. Center Austin Corbett, he's on IR as well. They don't have a lot of depth to begin with, and now it's even thinner and thinner. And this pass rush for Atlanta with James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker and the additions of Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts in the draft, they got a great young core that's only going to get better week after week. And even if they're on the road, I don't give a shit. I love the Falcons in this spot, and I think they're a great parlay piece if you're into sports betting. If you're into sports betting, check out my memberships, $4.99 a month. You get all my bets. I just released the video this week, each and every Friday, and it's a great way to support the channel and everything I do here for you guys, right? So we've already turned 200 and over 500 in just 2 weeks, guys. We're absolutely crushing it, right? Falcons get a big W. Next, we move on to the Green Bay Packers versus the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco has really struggled along with the rest of this offense, right? The defense is actually playing pretty damn good. They've given up the least amount of yards in the entire NFL. But that's not going to be good enough to beat Micah Parsons and a really good defense. And they're just playing great football. The Packers are on all 3 levels, offense, defense, and special teams. With the addition of Micah Parsons, I love Edge Cooper, great player. But Jaden Reed did break that collarbone, so I'm really looking forward to Matthew Golden getting a lot more involved in this offense, guys. So I expect big things. I think Green Bay is going to struggle running the football because Derrick Henry went like 11 for 23 last week. So I think the Packers, it's going to be slow going in the run game, but I think they do enough offensively. It looks like Tucker Kraft is healthy enough to play the tight end for the Green Bay Packers. So we're going with the Packers all day, son. Houston taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Guys, it's going to be 86 freaking degrees there. Hot, humid, muggy. Remember, Houston is used to playing in the dome. 75, 70 degrees, nice and comfortable. It's going to be muggy and shitty. If you ever put those pads on in a helmet, there's nothing worse than playing on a humid day. That shit sucks. And an offensive line that already struggles, they're going to be gassed. And I think this Jaguars defense can force some turnovers. I like CJ Stroud, but that offensive line sucks. The Texans can't run the ball either at all whatsoever. And Jacksonville is probably the most formidable rushing attack we've seen through 2 weeks, guys. They look really, really, really good. Christian Kirk is expected to return for the Texans. That's going to help out that offense a little bit, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I want to see the little things in this game from Jacksonville. No turnovers, no drops. The defense has been playing pretty good. And on the flip side, it's either the offense or the defense getting tons of penalties for the Texans. They're very undisciplined, and I think in the second half, the Jaguars take over in this spot. the Texans really need to shore up their run defense after giving up 169 yards versus the Bucs. NTN and the Jaguars look really good on the ground. Liam Cohen is great for scheming up the run game, the head coach of the Jags. I'm going with the Jaguars to win this game. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The battle of the backups. The bums. The backup bums. Whatever you want to freaking call it. It's going to be weird. Carson Wentz has been kicking around all different sorts of teams over the last few years. Hasn't really played consistently, but Jake Browning throws a lot of freaking interceptions. Threw 3 last week and still somehow won. But big updates on injuries. Shamar Stewart is out for the Bengals. It's the Trey Hendrickson show and nobody else. Cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt, he's doubtful. And starting guard Lucas Patrick, he's on IR. The Vikings placed Aaron Jones on IR, but Jordan Mason has looked pretty good. And obviously J.J. McCarthy is a no-go. So we get Carson Wentz, right? Christian Darrisaw, I really want to see him come back. If Darrisaw plays in this game, I'm going to put a nice bet on the Vikings, but I got to see him back. And Andrew Van Ginkel is questionable from that concussion. We'll have to see. It's probably going to be a game-time decision on whether or not he plays. But I like Minnesota in this spot. I just think Brian Flores' defense is going to overwhelm the backup quarterback, Jake Browning. So I'm really looking forward to this game just to see what Carson Wentz and Jake Browning can do in this. I like when backup quarterbacks get opportunities, guys. I'm stammering all over my words, but I'm excited. I do like to see backup quarterbacks get a chance to play and kind of reinvigorate their careers, right? We've seen that with a lot of quarterbacks over the league the last few years. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, just to name a few. Next up, we move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots. This is a 50-50 game, guys. I've been going back and forth on this game all week long. But there is a laundry list of injuries on this Steelers secondary. The offensive line doesn't look great either, in my opinion. I think they're pretty one-dimensional. And I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. I do like what I saw from this young New England Patriots team getting after the passer last week versus Tua. But like the Steelers, Joey Porter, Deshaun Elliott, Alex Highsmith, Loudermilk, Queen, Wilson, all suffering injuries last week. Are they going to play? I'm not really sure. And Drake May was really efficient last week. His stat line's not going to blow you away, but it is the epitome of efficiency. Epitome of efficiency. Epitome of efficiency. Oh my goodness, guys. 19 of 23, 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what we want to see out of Drake May, Patriots fans. That's exactly what you want. I want to see Trevion Henderson get more involved in this offense. I also want to see, will Christian Gonzalez play? If he plays and can lock down DK Metcalf, I think it's going to be a long day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm rolling with the Patriots. I'm doing it. Next up on the slate is my Philadelphia Eagles at home versus the Rams. On Wednesday, when I put out my picks with scores, I had the Rams winning. But there's been some injuries. Ahkello Witherspoon, cornerback, collarbone out. Starting left guard, Steve Avila, he's doubtful for this spot. And where are the Philadelphia Eagles most dangerous in this defense? That is the interior defensive line led by Jalen Carter. That could prove troublesome for this Rams team. And don't forget that Saquon Barkley absolutely owns the Rams. I think I might regret doing this, but I'm switching. I'm rolling with the Birds. The odds for this game are crazy, though. Don't bet this game, in my opinion. If the Rams won, I won't be shocked at all, but F it. I'm switching. I'm rolling with the Eagles. I think they get this run game going. And the starting cornerback's hurt. The interior of this offensive line's not healthy. And the Eagles just straight up have owned the Rams over the last few seasons, no matter what. It just seems like this coaching staff knows how to play the Rams. Eagles are at home. It's going to be fucking crazy there. I'm going with the Maniacs. Birds get a big win here at home in week 3. Next up, guys, we got the Jets without Justin Fields and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are also riddled with injuries, right? No Wirfs, no Godwin, no Gadecki. You know, I love Bucky Irvin and what's going on with Baker Mayfield. This dude just willing wins into existence. You know, the Jets last week were 0 for 11 on third down, man. You're not going to beat Todd Bowles. And Baker Mayfield being that inefficient on third down is just not going to happen, man. I want to see Emeka Ibuka come off the injury list for sure because I think he's in play for a huge day with Sauce Gardner taking on Mike Evans, right? So we'll have to see how that plays out. But listen, I don't think Tyrod Taylor has the juice to go on the road in Tampa Bay, 88 degrees at game time, and beat the Buccaneers. I just don't see it happening. You got to get acclimated to that heat, man, because it's a big deal, especially in the second half. The Jets are already a little thin on the D line. I think the second half, Bucky Irving, and this offense really take over. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get a win. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts. The best offense in the NFL so far. That shit's crazy. Crazy! Titans, Cam Ward's looked pretty good considering the shit show that surrounds him, right? Man, this is a tough spot. It really is. It's going to be hot as shit in Tennessee. The Colts are used to playing in a dome. Oh, man, there's a little bit of me that wants to take the Titans in this spot, guys. I swear to God. I'm going to roll with the Colts because they're more efficient. And I trust that efficiency, right? But on the road, in the freaking heat, against a solid defense, not a good defense, a solid defense, with Cam Ward improving each and every week. But the big thing for me, no J.C. Latham in this spot. The Colts have a good pass rush-ish. Not great by any stretch of the imagination. They're okay. We got to see if Latu plays in this game. I'm pretty sure he missed last week, right? So, but Jonathan Taylor has been playing out of his mind, dude. He looks so unbelievable right now. They're really running the ball effectively. And when you run the ball effectively, you control the game. I expect them to control the game. Tyler Warren's dealing with a toe injury, so we got to keep that in mind too. Sunday morning, we got to wake up and get the, final decisions on some of these questionable guys, right? So if you're going to bet on this game, I'd wait to the last minute. Just check that injury report again. There are some important players. If Tyler Warren doesn't play, I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. But division game on the road, it's a tough spot for the Colts, man. It really is. Even though the Titans are the Titans, right? Are they going to go winless this year? I don't know. But could we get a potential for Daniel Jones and the Colts to come back to earth? I'm not sure because as long as they run the ball efficiently, I think Daniel Jones can use play action, use the middle of the field to be successful in this league, and that recipe will continue to be a winning one, in my opinion. I'm going to roll with the Colts here. Raiders. First, the Commanders. I almost dropped the Redskins word. Sorry, guys. Don't cancel me for saying Redskins. But listen, no Jaden Daniels in the spot. Marcus Mariota is getting the start. I'm rolling with the Raiders all day. The Raiders, Geno Smith bounces back. Brock Bowers. Even though this offensive line for the Raiders has been pretty ass cheeks so far. But Max Crosby, I think he wreaks havoc. Marcus Mariota is pretty mid in my opinion. I think Geno Smith bounces back. If the Raiders can't beat the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, I caramba. But it's still going to be a close game either way, but I'm going to roll with the Raiders in this spot, guys. Next up is a game I have no idea how to bet. So I'm not betting on it, but I'll make a pick just for shits and giggles, right? Denver Broncos, LA Chargers. Just watch this as a fan. Put your fan cap on. Get some chippies, some brewskis, some smoky smoke. Whatever you want to do. Whatever your vice is. Enjoy it. This game's going to be so much fun to watch. Khalil Mack goes on IR. It looks like he dislocated his elbow when I slowed down the replay, man. They haven't really said exactly what happened. They're just calling it a elbow injury. But I do think you can run the ball against this Denver defense. Jonathan Taylor went off 25 for $165, over 6.5 yards per carry, right? Pat Surtain got banged up a little bit in that game, but he came back last week. I'm still going to roll with the Chargers here. I think Omarion Hampton, who's looked okay so far, right? Some tough games. But as a rookie, he got blown up in the backfield by Max Crosby last week, but that's not his fault. Anybody would have fumbled that ball. I just like what's going on with the Chargers, and I trust Justin Herbert more than I trust Bo Nix right now, man. And the defense is good, but it does have its flaws, right? And the Chargers want to run the freaking ball. Denver can't really stop the run. I think it's going to be a close-ass game, but I like the Chargers in this spot. Next up, Saints take it on Seattle in Seattle. Remember, dome teams going to play outside, always interesting for me, right? Seattle's starting to come along. The secondary is playing really well. The defense just overall looks pretty damn good. Smith and Jigba and Kupp both had good games last week. Sam Darnold needs to stop throwing fucking interceptions, man, and give this team a chance to win. But the Saints are just shorthanded, man. Tons of injuries all over the offensive line. They have like zero depth. There's like 8 guys on IR. It's crazy. No Chase Young either in this spot. Spencer Rattler has looked pretty good in the first couple of games, man. He's playing well, right? Especially because, Alvin Kamara's getting a little bit older. He's playing behind a mediocre offensive line. I do like Chris Olave, but I think he still's got the yips a little bit from those concussions, right? I like Seattle at home. Sam Darnold, I think they run the ball effectively. I just think they're a better football team. I like Seattle in this spot, especially at home. I don't think any of these bum teams get upset wins. We haven't seen a lot of upsets so far, but they are afoot, guys. It's another reason why I didn't bet super heavy this week. One of those weeks that, sometimes you got to rein it in with your bets a little bit. I did that a little bit this week. Check out my memberships to see all my bets. Cowboys, Bears. Caleb Williams, he's not that dude. DeAndre Swift is banged up a little bit, dealing with some injuries, and they got a ton of injuries on defense. Jalen Johnson's out indefinitely. Cornerback Kyler Gordon, he's out. Linebacker TJ Edwards, who's like the general of that defense, he's out. Swift, like I mentioned, dealing with a quad injury there, right? So the Dallas Cowboys if they can't get right against this Dallas Cowboys secondary, they're never going to get right, which is probably where I'm leaning right now, man. Dallas has got to clean up the freaking penalties, 12 for 106 yards versus the Giants last week. Dak's been playing pretty damn good. So I'm not worried about Dak. I trust Dak way more than I trust Caleb Williams. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to get a big win. Oh, injury note. Cooper Beebe on IR, center for the Cowboys. You never love that, right? And again, it's like, can they figure out how to get good Caleb Williams, that's the first 15, 20 plays scripted, to play good throughout 4 quarters? He just can't read defenses, man. He's really struggling here, guys. Arizona versus San Francisco. Another game I've been going back and forth on. The Arizona Cardinals' secondary and defense overall is extremely banged up in this spot, guys. Lots of guys questionable. Like, Will Johnson didn't practice on Wednesday. Max Melton is limited participant on Wednesday as well. This defense is really, really banged up, and I expect Kyle Shanahan to exploit that. There's also rumblings about Brock Purdy potentially playing in this game here, guys. But Mac Jones was extremely efficient last week in Shanahan's offense. 26 of 39, 279, 3 tutties. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. And also, Arizona, the offensive line doesn't look as good either, right? They're really struggling to run the football. They lost their running game coordinator. I forget off the top of my mind where the hell that he went, but he's gone. And they've struggled to run the football so far this year, especially James Conner, right? So I'm rolling with San Francisco to get it done, guys. I like the 49ers at home to win a division game. Chiefs, Giants. I'm rolling with the Chiefs. The Chiefs can't start 0-3, right? I think it's like 4 teams in the history of the NFL in the Super Bowl era have made the playoffs after an 0-3 start. And that would be crazy, man. If anyone could do it, it's the Chiefs, but geez Louise, man. The Giants' offensive line is really bad. I think Spagnuolo and Chris Jones could get after Russell Wilson. If you don't get, Russell Wilson had time to throw those deep balls last week against Dallas because they don't have a pass rush at all. I don't care what anybody says. That pass rush is booty. And it was able to allow Russell Wilson to throw the football downfield, give him time. If you get after him, I'm blitzing the shit out of Russell Wilson and making him beat you in I can't even talk today. Intermediate routes, right? That's how you beat Russell Wilson. Force him to make contested throws in the middle of the football field. If you give him all day, he'll beat you deep. One of the best deep ball throwers in the last 20 years, man. It's unbelievable. That touch, he could drop it in a bucket from 50, but he can't hit a 12-yard crosser. It makes no damn sense to me. But I'm going with the Chiefs here. Faux show. Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens. Man, there's a little bit in me that wants to take the Lions here, guys, over the Ravens. The Ravens really struggled to run the football versus Cleveland last week. The game was closer than it probably should have been. Oh, man, I'm going back. Jared Goff has been extremely efficient. And it's sometimes you got to, I like metrics and looking at PFF and the grades, but if you look at Jared Goff's PFF grades compared to other quarterbacks and like what he's accomplished the first 2 weeks, sometimes you got to kick those metrics in the nuts and throw them out the window, man. So, I don't know. But he's 54 of 67. That's 80% completion percentage. I think his PFF grade's in the 60s. What? That's stupid. Man. Oh, God, I'm torn between this game. I'm going to go with the Ravens. But man, oh man, I might have to do an abridged video on Monday. Maybe switch into the Lions, guys. I think the Lions and the points is the bet to make. They were at 5.5. I think it's down to 5 now. But the Lions look pretty damn good. They still are missing the core of that interior offensive line. They've been not super efficient running the football. And if they're going to be one-dimensional versus the Ravens, then they're going to lose. And that's why I'm rolling with the Ravens here, guys. That is my final picks for week 3. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. You are the best. Thank you again. We just crossed 25K on the 30. You guys are the shit. Peace.